8 strange and shocking things about Nigeria, where men marry 100 wives at the same time. Hello and welcome back to Discovery Fact. Dear viewers, in the city of Bida, Nigeria, a 92-year-old man recently became the center of intense public controversy after it was revealed that he has 107 wives and 185 children, even though he is unemployed and does not possess any significant wealth or property. The man's name is Mohammed Bello Abubakar. Abubakar even declared that marrying so many women was a sacred mission that he had received as a command from Allah. Although he is a Muslim, he was criticized by many Islamic clerics for violating religious rules. In Islam, a man is permitted to marry up to 4 wives, but only if he has the means to care for them properly and treat them fairly. Islamic clerics demanded that Abubakar divorce his wives and keep only 4. However, he refused, arguing that the Qur'an does not specify any punishment for a man who has more than 4 wives. He also claimed that every man should have the freedom to marry as many women as he is able to. In 2008, Abubakar was arrested and sentenced by a local court. However, his wives and children took to the streets in protest, putting pressure on the court to release him. In the end, they succeeded. After regaining his freedom, Abubakar did not fear further legal consequences and continued marrying additional women. To date, he has married 107 women, although he has divorced 10 of them. Despite being 92 years old, Abubakar says he has no intention of stopping and will continue searching for a suitable woman to marry. However, despite having so many wives, Abubakar advises other men not to follow his example. According to him, an ordinary husband could not even manage 10 wives, let alone 97, as he does. He insists that he is able to control all of his wives thanks to the power granted to him by Allah. Another unusual aspect of Abubakar's large family is that they have no official jobs or stable source of income. Abubakar himself does not work, and he does not allow his wives to work either. Many sources report that he has forced his children to beg for money. Even so, it is extremely difficult to meet the daily living and food expenses of such a large family. When asked how he manages to financially support everyone, Abubakar simply replied, "It is thanks to God." So what do you think about that? Is it really possible to have food on the table without working? Hearing this part is honestly quite confusing. What are your thoughts about this unusual situation? Leave your opinion in the comment section below so we can discuss it together. Dear viewers, Nigeria is not an unfamiliar country to many people, but beyond the story of a man who married more than 100 wives at the same time, what else do you know about this nation? If this is your first time learning about it, you might be amazed by its many unique and one-of-a-kind customs. For example, there are unusual masquerade festivals and distinctive wedding traditions, along with many other fascinating cultural practices. Now let's join Discovery Fact as we explore this unique country together. Igbo Ora, the village famous for twins. Located in Oyo State, about 50 miles north of Lagos, Nigeria's largest city and former capital, the village of Igbo Ora had a population of 300,000 people as of 2020, most of whom belong to the Yoruba ethnic group. What makes this village remarkable is that twin births are extremely common. Traditionally, the first baby born, whether a boy or a girl, is named Taiwo, and the second is named Kahinda, followed by their given names. By the end of 2020, Igbo Ora had recorded more than 6,000 sets of twins out of its total population of 300,000. Women in the village typically marry between the ages of 16 and 18, a fact that has attracted the attention of scientists from around the world. Surveys show that the parents of twins in the village are physically and mentally healthy, with no abnormalities or defects. However, one notable factor is the diet of mothers who give birth to twins, which includes large amounts of yams and okra. One striking example is Mr. Oluwaso, who has 7 wives and has fathered 27 sets of twins. Another example is Oyanike Bamamore, living proof of how common twin births are in the village. She said she had been pregnant 8 times and gave birth to 16 children, all of them twins. Dr. Lawrence, a lecturer in obstetrics and gynecology at the University of York Medical School in the United Kingdom, explained that the yams or okra grown in Igbo Ora may contain substances that stimulate a woman's body to produce gonadotropins, a hormone that triggers ovulation. Instead of releasing just one egg, women may release 2 eggs during the same cycle. However, Dr. Ekujumi Olarinwaju, a lecturer at Lagos University Medical School, offers a different explanation. After many years of observation, he noted that some women in Igbo Ora give birth to twins because 2 sperm fertilize a single egg, meaning that the cause may not necessarily be the release of 2 eggs but rather genetic mutation. Meanwhile, a research team led by Dr. Davis Pollock at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine in the United States proposed another theory. Over a 2-year period, they recruited 10 women who volunteered to participate in a study just before getting married. Through ovarian ultrasounds, doctors confirmed that all 10 women released only 1 egg. However, when the women were 6 weeks pregnant, 3 of them were carrying twins. This suggests that in those cases, 2 sperm fertilized a single egg. Why the rate is so high, however, remains unanswered. Every year on October 9th, Igbo Ora, known as the twin capital of the world, welcomes tens of thousands of visitors who come to attend the Twin Festival. Among them are twin sisters Taiwo Oguntoye and Kehinde Oguntoye, who have been appointed as ambassadors of the village and serve as the official hosts of the festival. Taiwo Oguntoye said that they believe the Twin Festival can help boost tourism in Igbo Ora and improve the lives of twins, since most families with twins struggle financially to raise and support their children. Women are allowed to leave their husbands for another man. The Wodabe live in the Sahel region of West Africa and are considered one of the world's most unusual traditional tribes. As a nomadic people, they do not settle in one fixed place but migrate across northern areas around the Sahel, including parts of Nigeria. The Wodabe have many distinctive customs. Among them are male beauty competitions held so that women can choose their husbands, as well as the tradition often described as wife stealing. Their annual festival takes place in September. During this celebration, Wodabe men dress up and apply elaborate makeup to attract women. According to Wodabe beauty standards, an attractive man should have thin lips and long white teeth. The men decorate their faces with bright colors, apply black lipstick, and paint striking patterns. Women, on the other hand, tattoo their skin with blue markings to make their complexion appear brighter and wear silver earrings. During the festival, young men compete to impress the women in hopes of catching their attention. Based on various criteria, the women then choose the man they want as a husband. In addition, the Wodabe are among the few tribes that allow women to have more than one husband at the same time. If a woman feels that her current husband is not compatible with her, she may leave him and marry another man. Similarly, Wodabe men are allowed to steal another man's wife. As a result, men in the tribe often worry that their wives may be taken away by someone else. However, there are still strict rules for women. Girls are not allowed to communicate through eye contact. Looking directly at something they desire is considered completely taboo. So, if any man wants multiple wives or any woman wants multiple husbands, perhaps Nigeria is the place to go. Throwing money at the bride and groom. In many countries around the world, weddings typically feature elegantly decorated boxes designated for cash gifts and envelopes. However, in Nigeria, things are quite different. There is a unique custom in which guests directly throw money at the bride and groom. This act is meant to express the joy and happiness that guests feel for the newlyweds. It also serves as a way to encourage the couple to continue dancing and enjoying the celebration, creating a lively and festive atmosphere that makes the wedding even more special and memorable. In addition to the tradition of throwing money, Nigerian weddings have another interesting custom related to the bride's attire. If the bride dresses too extravagantly before or after the wedding ceremony, the groom may send her back to her family. It may sound surprising because in Vietnam, as well as in some other countries around the world, many brides are willing to spend large sums of money, sometimes the equivalent of tens of thousands of US dollars, on a wedding gown so they can look as glamorous and outstanding as possible on their big day. It is hard to understand why such unusual customs exist in Nigeria. These traditions can certainly leave many people astonished. A lake believed to have healing powers. When talking about lakes believed to have healing properties, you may already be familiar with the famous Lac de Gafsa in Tunisia. However, you may not know that Tunisia is not the only place where such a mysterious lake has appeared. In Nigeria, another lake suddenly emerged in the community of Ameke Nanchi in Enugu State. Local residents deeply revere the lake because of what they believe are its miraculous healing properties. The history of this lake is just as extraordinary as its supposed powers. On November 11, 2014, a local herdsman heard a loud noise that sounded like an explosion. When he ran toward the source of the sound, he saw water bubbling up from the ground. The herdsman stood in shock at the astonishing sight, while nearby residents believed that taking the water home could cure blindness. Meanwhile, the water continued rising and gradually spread outward, eventually reaching a diameter of about 560 feet. It remains unclear where the water came from or what caused the mysterious explosion. Rumors about the lake's miraculous healing abilities quickly spread across the country. Sick people from all over Nigeria traveled to the site to collect the muddy water, hoping it could cure their illnesses. Many visitors claimed the water had healed serious conditions, including blindness, deafness, and physical injuries. One paralyzed man even declared that after bathing in the lake, he was able to walk normally again. These claims created a widespread wave of attention in a region already struggling with poverty. Hundreds of people flocked to bathe in the murky water. The mysterious lake became known by several unusual names such as Bethesda Lake, Jordan River, Ogbongwu, and others. It attracted not only Nigerians but also visitors from neighboring countries including Ghana, Togo, and the Republic of Benin. People of all ages came to the lake. Local villagers saw the crowds as a business opportunity. Street vendors appeared along with services that collected and sold the lake water in containers to visitors. Taxi and motorcycle transport services also emerged to meet growing demand. Many visitors came hoping to benefit from the lake's healing powers. Some drank the water. Others cut herbs from nearby plants and boiled them with the lake water to make medicinal herbal tea. Some even brought photographs of sick relatives to pray for their recovery. However, some believe this was not the first time the lake had appeared. It was reportedly first recorded as emerging in 1992, after which it suddenly disappeared. The head chief of the Emeke-Nachi area, Dominic Onuigbo, stated that the lake is very old and has appeared 3 times over the past 80 years, particularly during periods of extreme heat and drought. Local legend says that if prayers are sincere, sacred water will spring forth from nowhere. With growing rumors about its healing powers, the mysterious lake attracted the attention of government officials and health authorities. Authorities became concerned as sick people bathed in the lake, potentially relieving themselves nearby, while thousands of bodies soaked in the stagnant water, conditions that could easily turn the lake into a breeding ground for disease. There were fears that an outbreak could occur, especially if people already suffering from diarrhea contaminated the water and spread illness to local residents. The lake could also become a breeding site for mosquitoes, increasing the risk of malaria outbreaks. In the end, only time will tell whether the lake is truly a sacred source of healing or a dangerous source of deadly disease. People dress up as deities to ward off bad omens. Each festival season in Nigeria brings a special, colorful, and meaningful experience, especially in Enugu in southeastern Nigeria. During these celebrations, local residents dress up as deities and parade through villages, hoping to bring joy and good fortune while driving away evil. These costumed figures, known as Mawu, are believed to emerge from holes beneath the ground to take part in festival activities. They are not only there to entertain, but also to punish wrongdoers. At the festival, traditional musical instruments, often made from tree trunks, are used, producing wild and distinctive sounds. The deities featured in the celebration are divided into 2 types, visible and invisible. Visible deities take part in traditional festivities, creating a connection between the community and the spiritual world. In contrast, invisible deities remain hidden in the village at night, serving as guardians and overseers in the darkness. One of the most prominent figures in the festival is the god Iga, whose role is to maintain order within the community. His rival is Ogionu, the god of chaos and disorder, often depicted with a crocodile-like head and carrying a stick to stir up trouble. There are also police masks, symbols of humor and entertainment which bring joy to the crowd. The rival of the police figure is the miner, reflecting the historical conflict between police and miners during the colonial era, when Enugu was Nigeria's center of coal production. The festival would not be complete without the king and queen, symbols of the upper social class, and the goddess Agbogo, who represents beauty and joy. Each masked character has its own dance and music, creating a vibrant and diverse festival atmosphere. The masquerade groups are often secret societies, concealing their identities behind masks and traditional costumes, adding an element of mystery and fascination to the celebration. As you can see, when hundreds of masked figures flood into the towns, the festival becomes not only a community event but also a spectacular cultural performance that reflects the richness and diversity of Nigerian traditions. If you ever have the chance to visit, be sure not to miss the opportunity to experience this extraordinary festival for yourself. A Nigerian woman sets a Guinness World Record with a wig over 1,150 feet long. A woman from Lagos, Nigeria has entered the Guinness World Records with a handmade wig measuring about 1,152 feet in length. The woman, a professional wig maker named Helen Williams, spent more than 2 million naira, approximately several thousand US dollars, and 11 days creating the wig. Its length exceeds the combined length of 7 Olympic-sized swimming pools. According to Guinness World Records, Williams created a wig base using mesh netting and black fabric, securing it to a bicycle helmet. She used 1,000 bundles of hair, 12 cans of hairspray, 35 tubes of hair glue, and 6,250 hair clips to complete the project. Notably, sourcing materials for the world's longest wig was not easy, even though Williams has 8 years of experience in the industry and produces between 50 and 300 wigs per week. At times, she even felt exhausted. However, determined not to disappoint her family and friends who encouraged her, she continued to give her best effort and stay focused. With the enormous size of the wig, Williams struggled to find a suitable space to measure it. In the end, she laid the wig out along a highway between Lagos and the city of Abeokuta to complete the measurement. The wig is currently displayed at her office, where people can admire it whenever they wish. Previous records for the largest wig in the world included actress Drew Barrymore, who wore a 7 feet 4-inch wig during an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon in 2017. More recently, this past April, Australian artist Danny Reynolds broke Drew Barrymore's record by creating a giant wig measuring about 8 feet 6 inches in width. To be recognized by Guinness World Records, the wig had to meet the requirement of being wearable. Reynolds and her collaborator spent 2 months completing the wig, which featured 2 giant pink bows. The total cost of the project was estimated at 4,000 Australian dollars, approximately a few thousand US dollars. Reynolds explained that the biggest challenge was calculating the precise placement and amount of materials needed to ensure the wearer could maintain balance. To create the oversized wig, she studied the color and texture of real hair and built a supporting structure to hold the massive volume of fibers above. After developing the base structure and overall hairpiece design, Reynolds enlisted the help of local artist Meg Wilson to create the inner lining, sew in the synthetic hair, and craft the large pink bows for decoration. Guinness World Records stated that the supporting structure of Reynolds' wig was made from a bicycle helmet, PVC pipes, pool floats, cables, and aluminum bars. As you can see, every art form has its own uniqueness and its own challenges. Creating a work of art like this requires remarkable talent and extraordinary dedication, wouldn't you agree? Eerie festival costumes. When attending events or festivals, we usually choose sparkling and trendy outfits, right? But if you ever have the opportunity to attend a festival in Nigeria, especially the Voodoo Spirits Festival in the city of Bida, Edo State, you would have a completely different experience. Instead of modern or revealing outfits, you would see unique traditional costumes that are somewhat eerie in appearance. The Voodoo Spirits Festival, held every January, is a distinctive event that attracts large numbers of local residents as well as tourists from around the world. During the festival, traditional rituals are performed with special attire, including headpieces that fully cover the face and head, along with brightly colored robes. Each costume is intricately designed, featuring vivid colors and complex patterns meant to show reverence and offer prayers to the spirits. You will witness strange and striking imagery, with masked figures that look as if they have stepped out of a mythical world. The Voodoo Spirits Festival is not only an occasion to honor ancestors, but also an opportunity for the community to gather and share its culture and beliefs. The unusual costumes and traditional rituals make the event especially captivating and memorable. It is fair to say that these extraordinary festival outfits are truly one of a kind. So, beyond Nigeria's unique ceremonial costumes, do you know of any other remarkable festival attire around the world? Feel free to share in the comments below so we can explore and broaden our understanding of fascinating cultural traditions from different societies. Thank you for watching the entire video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any more exciting discoveries. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.